Novo lit that shit bang.
Welcome back, everybody, to Crows of Judgment, and there has been a second Google Doc on the Narrator. For those of you who are unaware, watch our other videos. I'll put the links in the descriptions. But in the last Google Doc, the Narrator was exposed for having sexually charged conversations with a 13-year-old and sending pornographic images on a Discord server run by a 14-year-old. When asked to stop, continued to send the images, forcing the 14-year-old to actually make an adult channel on his Discord server to stop it from being spammed in his general chat. We've also seen on Narrator's Discord server that he has also spread these images with minors. However, I think the very first point there, that he was seeking some sort of weird sexual relationship with a 13-year-old at the age of 18, really takes the case. So let's see what's in the second Google Doc. The first story here relates to the infamous booty cheek picture. I am trying to not be completely demonetized, so let's try to keep this relatively... I don't know, it's not going to get monetized, don't worry. All right, so we have the whole intro post. This one's about 27 pages long. Let's see how fast we can get through it, because I want to get this video up prior to Narrator's response to what I understand is the first Google Doc. I don't think he was really aware of this next one, so we'll see how he handles himself on the stream tonight. I am looking forward to it, and potentially I might actually be live streaming tomorrow if I find his response is interesting enough, or maybe I'll just do a video. Anyways, the harassment of Scotty Uwu. In the previous document, I made reference to a video uploaded by Spooks on March 12, 2017, accusing Narrator of sending their ass to a minor. I spoke to the video creator Spooks, and he said he took down the video because the minor in question, Scotty Uwu, said they were okay with this and that they did not have enough evidence. So this is the link from them, and this was actually in the other Google Doc. After the release of the original doc, I managed to get in contact with Scotty himself. Through mutual friends, it turns out we had, after word of the doc and it mentioning this situation reached him. He shared the many pieces of evidence and info that I had been missing, which originally made me not chase up this incident. I can now say with full confidence that most of the statements in the previous paragraph are far from the truth. So, unfortunately, the pictures are going to be posted here a few times. All right. Around February 2nd, 2017, the date of the only remaining reply, an account randomly popped up and began following accounts in the commentary community by the name @ILoveScottyUwu. Scotty is 15 years old at the time, which is pretty relevant here. Now, look, I want to be very clear. 18 and 15, those relationships exist in high school. I'm not all up on the age gap like some people. However, Scotty and the Narrator have no relationship. They have no pre-existing relationship. Scotty was just sent these images at the age of 15 by an 18-year-old who, as we already know, around this same time was also engaged in sexual conversations with a 13-year-old. If we're going to talk about establishing a pattern of behavior, the Narrator has a pattern of behavior being weirdly sexual with minors as young as 13 that we know of. Their profile picture banner and almost every tweet consisted of different images of someone in women's underwear's ass holding a fan sign with @ScottyUwu on it. They would reply to every single one of Scotty's tweets with these images. After only a day of activity, the account stopped and was soon deactivated. But who ran this account and why? What was its purpose? Yeah, I have no clue. Of course, it's Narrator. So this is a response from Narrator about this. Anyways, in DMs, he was always a bit weird. So anyways, this is about Narrator, I guess. Anyways, in DMs, he was always a bit weird, but I gave him benefit of the doubt as he was friends with everyone else in the group. And then he started complimenting me, I think, which at the time I thought nothing of. The conversation somehow shifted to him talking about how he likes to wear women's clothes and how he wishes he could post lewds of himself in women's clothes to people in his local area without them knowing he was a guy. I'm not sure how I responded, but I'm sure 15-year-old me was as passive as ever and sort of laughed it off without contributing anything. He brought up the idea of making a fan Twitter account for me, where he did that, and though I was uncomfortable, I was young and, as I said, really passive. I never vouched it would be a good idea or that I'd enjoy it in any way. I simply gave him permission as I didn't want to turn down a mutual friend in the community. Narrator had messaged Scotty beforehand after an uncomfortable conversation about how Narrator wanted to post lewds of themselves in women's clothes, and Narrator, possibly taking advantage of Scotty's self-admitted passive nature at the time, decided to bring up the idea of making a fan Twitter for him. Scotty, not wanting to turn down an opportunity to make a friend, gave permission. And then he started replying to my tweets with ass pictures, which was more than I was expecting, even when I was already uncomfortable. Turns out, however, Scotty had not given permission for Narrator to tweet out a fan sign with his name on it in front of their ass. Yeah, Narrator's kind of a fucked up person. I was 15 at the time, but don't have like a screenshot of my profile, sadly. I did have age in bio, though, and he did DM me previously. I unfortunately do not have a screenshot of Scotty's account bio around this time. However, Scotty, along with at least one other person, have vouched to me that this was the case and that Narrator knew his age. As stated previously, though, I do not have any means of proving this, so take this information as you will. It should be noted, however, another tweet about the situation was aware Scotty was a minor. So, I'm uncomfortable. Imagine how the underage person who was receiving them with consent felt. It doesn't really sound like they were giving consent. It sounds like they really weren't comfortable with any of this, which is a different story than what I thought originally too. But so what do we have here, right? Around the time Riley is saying that and showing us the Twitter back and forth between these individuals, saying that he was being kind of approached by Narrator with weirdly sexual statements openly on Twitter, saying that he loved him, saying that Riley needed him with self-harm images. Riley saying that Narrator was sending him self-harm images. I don't know. Now, I have shown in one of Narrator's tweets where he talks about this situation, how he's going to respond to it tonight, that he claims Riley is the individual who was doing the self-harm images or taking images of himself hurting himself. All I can say is maybe that's true. Maybe Narrator was sent some images by Riley. However, Narrator posts self-harm fan art tagging Riley. Okay? Riley is saying that Narrator was also sending him these images. So I would say that I'm not going to put it on the 13-year-old when his 18-year-old, I wouldn't say idol, but someone he's definitely a fan of, 5 years older than him, is promoting that stuff to him. I think that probably fucked with his head. But again, Narrator at 18 was having sexually charged conversations with a 13-year-old and getting jealous that the 13-year-old already had a boyfriend, is also doing this shit with a 15-year-old. Not just sending the images like a joke or something, but making a fan page to a 15-year-old and then tagging that 15-year-old's Twitter account with his ass pic. Goes way over the line of what I fucking thought it was. But how do we know it was Narrator? People found out very quickly, and he deleted everything and basically begged for me to vouch for him multiple times. Wow. So I guess that's more history of Narrator trying to cover his ass. Ha, funny. Because the internet is the internet, everyone found it quite strange. This anonymous account had suddenly started, following a 15-year-old's replies with ass fan signs. They got to investigating. Of course, it was really easy to connect Narrator to this account. People found out it was him by comparing his camera quality, color of his walls, and I believe furniture in the background. While many of the photos that people had used to prove stuff, such as furniture, are gone, there is still one very obvious one, the profile picture. In this picture, you can see the wall color is identical to the wall color of the room. Narrator streams in to this day, unchanged since Narrator joined the internet. I think most people believe it's the... I'm not going to keep showing the image. The Scotty Uwu profile picture in full, a clip from Narrator's latest video, and a crop of the wall from a tweet from April 2017 I happen to have on hand. Also, and here's the kicker, Narrator finally admitted they did it themselves nearly 4 years later. You're right, that's why I, 17, asked them if it would be okay for me to make a fan sign throwaway Twitter account, but I never sent it to anyone. I just tweeted it on said throwaway. Like I said, I'll address it all tomorrow. To go on a quick digression, this tweet is technically mostly correct. Narrator did indeed get the okay to make a fan sign Twitter. However, what they chose not to mention is that Scotty wasn't okay with the fact that it was an ass fan sign. Also, never sending it to anyone is also technically true, but they interacted with people so much on Twitter for them to see it that they might as well have. Meaning he was following a ton of accounts and, I guess, tagging the image all over Scotty Uwu's account. So, well, he's not sending it out to a bunch of people. I think we all understand what Narrator was actually doing. Also, Narrator was 18, not 17, as the incident took place in February 2017, and they had turned 18 the month previous. The same mistake is also repeated in this tweet here. Yeah, so Narrator's actually been trying to lie and downplay everything by saying, oh, this happened when I was 17 and I was dumb. I'm going to debunk the entire Google Doc. A good way of debunking is probably not lying about it, right? You think that'd be a probably good way? And proof that he was 18 and not 17 at the time happened in February. Oh shit. Call me at PewDiePie because I'm 18. Gamer word, can't say that. 18th birthday, January 24th, 2017. Well, there you go. Narrator telling everybody that he turned 18 in January, then went on to do this stuff in February. So he was 18. Now, look, I'm not going to pretend that there's some magical maturity gap, or there's this magical maturity that you gain over the course of a few weeks turning 17 to 18. What I will say is, it just shows that Narrator's willfully dishonest with people, actively lies and misinforms people about the situations that he gets involved in. As you can see right now, he's trying to say, well, I was 17, so it's not that big of a deal. It's a big deal to me that at 18, unprompted, you were sending your ass pics to a 15-year-old while having sexually charged conversations with a 13-year-old and getting jealous that the 13-year-old was already taken, you sick, disgusting fuck. This video won't be monetized, don't worry. Something tells me failing someone's replies with pictures of your ass is not anyone's idea of a good joke. But Scotty said it was okay. This is true to a degree. As when people contacted Scotty, he said he was okay with it at the time, but not because he actually was. I'll be honest, it didn't really affect me. I always just thought he was a freak, and I guess laughed at him. Taking on the chin. The incident didn't affect Scotty on the personal level the way it would have affected others, and therefore he didn't want to make a big fuss about the whole situation. He also begged me not to tell people it was him and to, cover for him. So obviously not wanting a shitstorm, he obliged with Narrator's request. He told everyone inquiring, of note Spooks, that he was okay with it and to drop the subject, causing Spooks to take down the video, which had insubstantial evidence, according to him anyways. I double-checked with Spooks to make sure this was the case, and sure enough. Now, but why bother? Everything was already out there at that point, and the incident was more than a month previous. The only time he would ever reach out to me afterward to vouch for him whenever people brought it up again. So, yeah, he's actively tried to cover for doing this. Now he's actively lying about how old he was at the time. Now, look, Scotty wasn't affected. Scotty just laughed at the dude who basically turned himself into a fucking clown, right? However, what I want to make as clear as I can about this situation is that at the time he did this, he was having sexually charged conversations with a minor that was 13. After this, roughly a year to 2 years later, when he is 19 to 20, then joins a Discord server of a 14-year-old and is sharing adult content in that person's Discord server. And I mean actual adult content, not just the sushi vor pics. Those images came after he was asked to stop sharing the adult content, continued to do so, and had to have his own NSFW channel in a 14-year-old's Discord server to stop him from spamming it in the general chat where other minors of the same age range were. Narrator has a thing for having sexually charged conversations with minors and sending adult content to minors. This is very problematic. This would be somebody who is actively using their platform and going after a very young fan base and going out there and saying stupid shit like, I'm not a content creator for children, while actively engaging sexually with a fan base of minors. Yikes. Holy fuck. If someone's a danger to their audience between you and your good buddy Carson, who you kept a file on for 3 years, I would say it's definitely the guy who continues to have sexually charged conversations, and shares adult content with minors. Every time the I Love Scotty Uwu account became a topic of discussion, Narrator would reach out to Scotty, the victim in the situation. I mean, he doesn't see himself as a victim, and would tell him to say he was okay with it. This included when the video by Spooks was released, as Narrator felt threatened by his existence, and yes, threatened is the right word. It would be so entertaining. Hang yourself and get a lot of views. I want you to die. Plus, you could defend yourself. Why not? No, actually die. Why not? Give a reason. I hate the guy. He does sloppy research. He's well liked by cancerous people in the community who can easily ruin my name for no reason at all. So this piece of shit is literally telling the guy that he was sending his ass pic to die, to hang himself, and then going after the guy who actually has him and saying he does sloppy research. Bitch, he didn't do sloppy research. He had you. And then you begged the person that you did this to not to fucking throw you under the bus. You're pathetic. Oh no, it's these guys again. In the above DMs between Raccoon Eggs and Narrator, you can see Narrator getting extremely annoyed at RE's prospect of responding to Spook's video. Note, Narrator's concerned about their name being ruined by cancerous people in the community for no reason at all. How do I have these DMs? Are you okay? Nope, not happy with Raccoon at all. Why? He knows exactly why. Ask him. I did. I want your point of view. He screenshot DMs, then your cancerous fans got a hold of them. Simple as that. Now, really? The pervert who likes to engage sexually with his minor audience, fan base, is saying that other people are cancerous. Okay. Okay. Either Call Me Carson or Raccoon Eggs leaked those DMs to the public, much to Narrator's dismay. Carson also proceeded to leak these ones. These DMs, along with Narrator getting drunk the night of the video going up, show that they felt threatened by the mere existence of it all, which caused Narrator to go to Scotty specifically to ask him to vouch for them. So what was the aftermath? Eventually I stopped vouching for him because I got old enough to realize I can stand up for myself and just told him to fuck off. Good job, Scotty. After multiple times being called upon to vouch for Narrator, eventually Scotty got Narrator off his back due to realizing he can stand up for himself, something seen in this tweet here. After Narrator, so tagging a bunch of people, then maybe he removed the merch links from the same title. Go preach about gun-free zones or sending your ass to underage children somewhere else. I'm not in the mood. Damn, Scotty. Also, Scotty doesn't look particularly happy there about the ass fan signs. Funny that. Yeah, I mean, I thought that it was a totally different thing, so I apologize to Scotty, because I thought that he was actually okay with it, and clearly he's not. Additional stories and experiences. After the release of the first doc, multiple people came forward, mainly in DMs, to present me their stories. I will mention that all also requested to stay anonymous, a request I will respect, and that I cannot verify most of these stories. Okay, to be fair here, I'm going to browse through this one, but if you don't have the evidence for it, I really just want to stick to talking about the Scotty situation. But what I will say is, we've now established that there are 3 individuals who were minors that Narrator was engaged with sexually. A 13-year-old who he sent self-harm images to and got very jealous when that 13-year-old got a boyfriend. A 14-year-old who was a fan of his. Both the 13 and the 14-year-old were fans of this guy. The 14-year-old made a Discord server, and Narrator proceeded to spam the general chat with adult content, was asked to stop, kept doing it, and then forced the 14-year-old in his 14-year-old Discord server to make an NSFW channel specifically for Narrator, who then went on to talk about all of his fetishes in the general chat after sharing links to adult content. And Narrator, at 18, was sending his ass pictures to a 15-year-old and tagging the 15-year-old and posting the ass pictures in replies to the 15-year-old's tweets. That makes 3 people so far with images to prove that this stuff was happening. Not to mention that Narrator also shares adult content in his Discord server that has no age limit on it, of which since he's removed all links so people can't actually go in there anymore. Additional stories and experiences. So person 1. Back around 2018-17, they would try getting in calls with me and kept showing me self-delete videos and people dying on Skype. harass me to make art for him too, and straight up be toxic to my friends, especially friends who were minorities. Okay. I remember they asked me to draw them like all the time for free art, to the point where where it was exhausting, and I couldn't tell if it was a joke or not, just manipulative behavior. Person 2. And again, these other people, they want to be anonymous, but unfortunately that means that they don't actually have any evidence or things that we can backtrack on. I'm more concerned with the 3 individuals who have come forward and provided actual hard evidence, and I just think that given his nature and given how he's acted with his underage fans, we should at least talk about this, because maybe there's more stuff out there, given we already have 3 people who have come forward with hard evidence against Narrator. Minors, by the way, all minors, as young as 13. Gross and fucking disgusting. We've already shown that Narrator actively lies about elements of what their accusations actually are, and will also lie about his own age to downplay what he did. Please keep my name out of it, but Narrator accidentally sent me non-nude crotch pics numerous times when I was 15. He would also call me at random times, though I wouldn't answer. Used to send photos of himself to people without discretion. I remember he posted a pic of himself, was supposedly this mother's under... Okay. And mentioned someone who I remember being 14 at the time. If you can remember, I am passably thick than looking back on it. So that would be the other situation. The second dot point refers to the Scotty incident. Yep. Refers to the tweet. Yeah. We remember that. Hi, I'm the narrator. I have a tolerable voice and a thick body. God damn. Person 3. Oh, wow. I've heard some stuff about that dude. One time I was on his private and he mentioned feeling sad and I replied same and he blocked me. Was always kind of rude to me in DMs on my old account. I wish the best to those involved. Good luck with all this. Sounds like he was pretty shitty. Oh, that's an understatement. He was always kind of rude, but mentioned to me that he helped BPD, was really depressed, so I just left him alone. Didn't know that deep, damn. So, I mean, you can see. Apparently, a lot of people are now coming forward with stories against Narrator. But again, if you want to come forward with a story, I ask that you actually show the evidence. Now, this is a long one. I didn't really have much. It was more so what happened with Blank. But I remember Narrator had a very weird obsession with them and even asked me about them after I split up with them. Like, they asked me invasive ass questions about this person when I was 14 and the other was 15. But other than that, all I have is from when I had my account very private for very personal reasons. I'll let my friends know about my Twitter account. I had Narrator blocked on it. And had them blocked since 2017. Smart. And Narrator found my account somehow and wanted to know why they were blocked, and they decided to tweet a screen cap of my private account and asked all their followers to, find out who I was and why they were blocked. Wow. That's kind of obsessive. They sent me a screenshot of the account in question showing the account and the date of its creation. I redacted all information with the join date, but I can verify this screenshot and the account are real. Okay, well, there you go. And a tweet, actually, from this person, so this actually backs up their story. Can someone tell me why Blank blocked me? I literally just learned about her account. This person sent me a few screenshots and messages between them and Narrator along with this statement. There we go. They were out of nowhere. We hadn't talked before. I just played cool and passed the whole thing as jokes. Also, at the time, I didn't think much of it. Hey, bad word. I'm gonna tie you up and hold your hand. That's what I thought. Stay away. Gun. Ooh, I am not a trap anymore. I am a gamer girl. Get it right? Okay, I'll remember. Thank you. Not trans, just a gamer girl. Makes sense. Ooh, this was based off of a selfie. I'm a make... God damn. I then asked them to follow up with proof of this being DMs with the actual Narrator, and they showed Narrator's ID. I don't believe Blank is a very good opening message. Oh my fucking god. On unsolicited lewds. Okay. Quite a few people mentioned to me either receiving or hearing of others receiving unsolicited lewd pics from Narrator. The only case I can verify this happening is Scotty's. However, most were received in DMs, some apparently from a different account. What different account, you may ask? I've seen that picture of Narrator without the cat ears and everything. Was an alternative account Narrator's used to post trap. Okay. Great. The screenshot remains the only remnant of what this account looked like. However, putting onto Twitter brings up, "You're adorable," proceeds to cuddle you in bed. So cuteness, so lovely cat. Okay. Oh, and Narrator is tagged in some of these. Should be, who cares if they're cute? They're cute. Ignore the content of the replies. Every single one has both @NarratorOSU and tagged with Narrator tag put first. This is a feature on Twitter is when someone changes their username. All previous replies to that account contain both the previous and the current one. For reference, is a now suspended Narrator alt account they would regularly link from their main while it was up. Jesus. Okay, so Narrator's response to the original doc. I showed some of this already. California's fun as F. Can't wait to go back and shoot more coyotes. Well, that's just cruel. I was expecting more than this deleted tweet proves it despite us not knowing what it said and character attacks for some reason. I'll address the Google Doc being spread about me later today / this week, but half of it's based on trust me, bro. This tweet we don't have was... You see, this is what I'm talking about, Narrator being actively fucking dishonest with his fans. The tweets are deleted, but the tweets are from Narrator, right? So all Narrator has to do is find the tweet and hit delete on it. They're fucking screenshots, you lying sack of shit. And some of those are archived, and the links were in the description of the original Google Doc. You're a piece of fucking shit, and you're an active fucking liar, like you lied about your goddamn age, you disgusting little fuckwad. Narrator addressed the thread by once again vaguely referencing to it, only talking about how apparently half the original doc was about tweets I didn't have on hand. That's a lot of tweets I didn't have on hand, funnily enough. Obviously deleted because the response was a little more than a knee-jerk reaction. Narrator followed up with a proper first response. So this is where he talks about, it was nice to read people trivializing my mom almost fucking... That's not true either. Like, there was a line in there about how Narrator drunk himself so bad he had to go to the hospital. And then those had all lines through it saying correction. And if you click on the correction, it actually said, I apologize for getting this wrong. Narrator actually had to go to the hospital because something with his mom. So this would be sympathy baiting, right? Because Narrator's a disingenuous lying sack of shit. I used proper with heavy leniency because it focused on the minute detail that I had misread a tweet of Narrator's referring to their mother going to the ER as them going to the ER. This, of course, didn't affect the rest of the doc beyond a couple of times. Yeah, he's a lying sack of shit. I should note, after this tweet, they tweeted and retweeted a bunch of unrelated topics, possibly in an effort to bury this tweet. They also tweeted a link to a video called Irony Explained, a subtweet with the subtlety of a truck, the same subtlety they had setting their bio to tired, after they were forced to respond to Toy T's thread. Please cry for me, but laugh at the suffering of others while you do it. Narrator eventually made a nice big thread announcing that they were going to stream as in an actual time frame, and a reaction that wasn't some kind of straw man. Instead, it's a cry for empathy. Yeah, actually, this definitely is. I'm going to talk about very serious topics, including depression, self-harm, suicidal tendencies. Guys, I was just in a bad headspace when I was, sexting and sharing pornographic images and, trying to hook up with a 13-year-old and sharing so much porn in a 14-year-old's Discord server that even after they asked me to stop, I wouldn't. I was just in such a bad headspace that they actually had to create me my own channel on their Discord server so I would stop sharing pornographic images in the general chat where all the minors were hanging out. Oh, and that 15-year-old. Yeah, I was in such a bad headspace I couldn't even remember how old I was. I still can't remember how old I was, even though it's out there. Everybody fucking knows, you dumbass. That fucking headspace. And then, but fuck you, Riley. I wish I cut you off sooner, no pun intended. Yeah. Talk about how you're going to talk about serious topics about depression, self-harm, and suicidal tendencies, and then make a fucking suicide pun. Or self-harm pun. Self-harm pun. But no pun intended. You jackass. You fucking jackass. You're telling a fucking guy who was 13 at the time. You're 18. What, you're 20 fucking now? He's 16. Sorry, 15. He's 15. You're 21, he's 16? You're 5 years older than this person. Who was 13, we were trying to hook up with him. The fuck? The actual fuck, man. Ignoring the obvious sympathy bait littered through the first tweet, the audacity to make a pun in light of Zirconi's self-harm right at the end is both pathetic and shows how long Narrator's willing to go to get a shock out of people. Yeah, I agree. Narrator the hypester. Because I guess ego comes before your credibility. Narrator has been hyping this stream up. Oh my gosh. This guy's Narrator is a moron. He's an absolute moron. I am so looking forward to him streaming because Every response he's put out on Twitter has been absolutely deceptive and dishonest. He has actively lied already about the accusations about him. Now he's going to go onto stream where he's going to try to do this all live because he is that brain damaged. Holy crap. Trust me, this doc is bullshit, but you'll have to tune into my stream instead of me answering it here and now on Twitter just for that tension. Don't worry, they'll address it in time. Just make sure to keep tuning in, trust me. So apparently he's doing it tonight, though. Control the narrative. For Narrator's followers on Twitter, it took them a few days to be properly made aware of the doc, as Narrator blocked people who posted into their replies and deleted tweets with too many replies with links to it. However, on YouTube, it's a different story. I left comments on Narrator's video to spread awareness about the Google Doc and all this disgusting stuff he's done, as did a few other people, but I checked back now and pretty much all of them have been deleted. People have been telling me he's been deleting comments from YouTube for a while now. But it's nice to see that they've compiled a link to all that. He's deleting negative comments criticizing him. What a lowlife. On this video and this video relating to the discussion of the original doc, multiple comments report that any comment on Narrator's latest video relating to the doc is being deleted. If you go to the latest comments section of that video, oh boy, 4732, is he referring to the I Notorious? Is really the biggest channel back then? Yeah, yada. Best part, clout chasing. So all this shit happened while Mysteriously clean. Just to double check, I installed a plugin that lets me search for keywords in YouTube comments section. It's a banned word, or every comment in the word doc and it's getting deleted. That's cute. Well, yeah, Narrator, if you read this, don't think I haven't noticed you've directed your attention to everyone but me. Zirconi, Toy T, Zirconi's ex, even people unrelated to this discourse. It's almost like leading them to me would cause them to see my pin, which is the doc. And that would be a real shame for your case if your audience got to find this all of their own accord. But again, I have no clue how that would be beneficial to you. No, Narrator, you might not be a pedo, but you sure did sex those minors. I'm going to say this. Given how often Narrator, at the age of 18 to 20, was seeking sexual conversations with people as young as 13, yeah, I'd say that meets the definition for pedophilia as far as I'm concerned. Right? I don't want to get into a semantic argument with anyone, but yeah, I think that if you are constantly trying to engage with people who are 5 to 6 years younger than you, and there's 3 people with hard evidence of you actually doing that, then yeah, I would say that meets the definition. If anything, I also say it meets the definition of someone who's a danger to their audience because you're constantly doing this shit. In the original document, I never accused Narrator of being a pedo. In fact, I never even used the word pedo or any of its derivatives. I did. This is because I would have to prove that they had pedophilic intent, and I cannot prove intent unless Narrator comes out and says they're a pedo themselves. 13 years old, he's 18, and he's seeking sexual conversations and getting very jealous when that person says that they have a boyfriend. I'll die on that fucking hill. I'll die on that hill. I'm fine with it. Conclusion, Narrator is a terrible person. I said it in the last doc. It applies even more so here. The fact that they are not willing to do all the things written about within the 2 docs, but also that they have shown pure desperation in those attempts to hide, mislead, and generally avoid addressing it. As of writing this document, Narrator has stated that they are streaming their response to the original document soon. I eagerly await it, and so just how badly they misrepresent and proceed to blame everything on other people, especially someone who was 13 at the time, or to use their mental health as a scapegoat for their actions that they committed, or downplay their actions as bad jokes, or flat out deny the evidence presented in front of them. Narrator, to summarize you up in your own words. Holy shit, you're toxic. Well, there you go. And more archive links for everything. There you are. Okay, everybody. Well, we'll go ahead and see how that stream turns out. Because I am excited to see Narrator make an absolute fucking clown out of himself. Bye-bye.
Let that shit bang.